we've talked about this before. If in doubt, disclose. And I know that's crazy town, but this is from Curtis Bullock, who's the CEO of Salt Lake Board, happens to be an attorney. I don't know why. I think he just loves reading cases. And so anyway, he said most of the lawsuits that he sees are buyers are suing sellers based on their disclosure documents or lack of such. If you're working with a seller and they say, gosh, should I disclose this? Here's a closing phrase you can use all the time. I would. Should I disclose this? I would. If you don't disclose, you own it. So just heads up on that. Want to take just a few moments and we're not much more than a half hour. I'm kidding. I'm going to show you guys a counter offer. This is fake, but the facts and the information come from what I saw last week. As agents, the expectation is that you will read the documents that come across your desk. So you're representing a buyer in this scenario. The seller counter offers your original offer. So it's an addendum, and I made it an addendum 3. The reps in both original addenda are all executed the same. So with initials and signatures and all. But I want you to look for issues and let's talk about them. So are you ready? Take a look, and I know it's small, so put on your reading glasses. What's wrong with this picture? So they counted 3 terms. Sellers to be known as Fred and Frida, Bill, Williams, and Shirley Close. Due diligence deadline, end of June. And then buyer's earnest money deposit to go hard, the due diligence deadline. And then it's signed. Go ahead. Nope, John and Mary Smith are the buyers. Say it nice and loud. The sellers signed. Oops. Let's go back. Sellers sign where they're supposed to. There's signatures down here. So what are you seeing, Rob?
This idea of going hard, what does that mean?
Oh, okay. There's one of my issues. What does go hard mean? Do we all know what go hard means? What in our lingo, we tend to say that go hard is not a term. That's not a legal term. How should you correctly say that? Non-refundable at a certain point in time. And here it said at the due diligence deadline. What's my issue with the due diligence deadline? Thank you. There are 30 days in June. There's not a 31st of June. Nice try. Okay. That's the only fake news that's in this one. That one didn't say it. They actually did give it a date. On this particular contract that I received, the original due diligence deadline was 1 day before the date that was put in the contract. And so the buyer canceled on, let's pick June 30th, or let's say the 31st of May. But originally it was the 30th of May. So that became a problem because what else is wrong with this? Keep going. Oh, say it. The names of the signatures. What do you mean? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. And who's this? Yeah, James Erickson. That's my nephew's name. That's why I chose it. Just a fun name. But James signed it. Shirley Johnson signed it, but I've got Shirley Close up here, possibly a married name. But okay. Yeah, so Bill and not William, but that's a Williams. And so we signed it differently. Let me tell you what happened in this particular one, because it gets fun. Like I said, you're going to get these, so you can take photos of them and all that, but you'll get these slides. In this particular contract, They literally had Fred and Frida, if you will. These are the names have all been changed to protect the guilty. Um, Fred passed away, no longer here, but we put him on the contract as a seller. Now, I believe it's because he's still on the title documents. Okay. Fred's dead. Frida had Bill sign her documents on her behalf. She had the listing agent had a power of attorney. Okay. Still don't know who Shirley Close is, if Shirley Close is the same as Shirley Johnson, but we're going to assume that. And so I was talking with the other broker, and our buyers canceled based on the new deadline date, not the original deadline date that was in their contract. What am I supposed to do with the earnest money? And I have 3 signatories, not 4. Do you see that? And this literally happened last week in an addendum. So first of all, I kind of got on the buyer agent's case, who happened to be our agent, and I said, "Why did you not question this?" And it's not to get after any particular person, but it's for us to look at your docs. Does that kind of make sense? You're responsible. You have a fiduciary. You should read your docs. Just like if you're a listing agent and someone says, "Yeah, they delete the refrigerators as an exclusion and they include the fridge." Is it your job to find that? Yes, you should find that, because it's really embarrassing when you, the agent, miss it, the seller misses it, and then the buyer is calling you saying, it's in the REPC and we want it back. And it really stinks, because guess who gets to buy a fridge? Listing agent. So this is just an encouragement to please read your docs, because I did call the other agent. Now, here's my other issue. I don't believe we have a valid contract. It not because of the date, but because I've got 3 signatories when the seller specifically named 4. I don't believe we have a valid contract. And so I called and I got agreement from the listing broker. We don't have a contract. He did say that that Frida had given up power of attorney to take about James Erickson down here below, because James doesn't show up anywhere. But James received a power of attorney. Bill is likely William, and Shirley Johnson is possibly Shirley Close. But we don't know. And so I said, we don't have a contract. It was never valid in the first place because it was signed by all the wrong people. Anyway, I'm just throwing it out because you don't want to play attorneys. I don't play one on TV, but we can create a lot of confusion. And this one really had my head spinning, because I got the magic request, "Hey, will you please release the earnest money back to the buyer?" Well, I can't until I got agreement from the listing broker that we had an invalid contract. So please take the time to read your dang docs. Anyway, that's all I got.
Thanks, Dean. Okay, so I'm going to have a friend come up, Chandler Fawcett, and he is with Aligned Media Productions. I realize that we're in the business of what? Relationships. And how do we actually, what I would say is the benefit from those relationships comes down to how we solve problems in real estate, right? And a lot of that problem solving side comes down to effectively how we communicate and market or tell stories, right, to our potential buyers and clients, buyers, sellers, and investors that we're working with. And so Chandler, come on up. We actually have a class on the 24th. It's going to be a sales meeting, a team meeting, where he's going to go deep on the psychology of storytelling. But I want to actually have him kind of walk through his background, what he does, and also kind of give some perspective on what we're going to go through on the 24th.
Sweet. Thanks, Shoni.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I set a timer, but I set the wrong timer, so I'm going to do it differently. There you go. Now I'll be on time, Shoni. I promise. Super nice to meet you guys. I recognize some of you when Shoni did his AI conference. How many of you guys went to that? That was awesome. And I learned a lot there too. I've dove into that world a lot. Marketing continues to evolve. And so our goal is to always stay at the top of the game. But yeah, my name is Chandler Fawcett. I'm the owner of Aligned Media Productions. We're a full service video production agency, specifically focusing on emotionally captivating content and that connects with your audience. And I'll get more into that later, but I have 3 goals really quick to get into. First is to connect with you guys. Second is to share some tools that you can start using immediately right now in your businesses and your storytelling. And then to invite you to this workshop that Shoni was talking about, where one lucky person will be able to go through the full storytelling content campaign workflow that we go with. And so I'll have a little QR code you guys can scan at the end to connect with me if you want to be entered into being one of the people that would go through that process. So it'll be really fun. That's kind of how we're going to do that. Let's see how this works. Oh, do you guys want to talk more about contracts? I could do that too. Kidding. I have to show a picture of my family. You're all supposed to say, thank you. I appreciate that. Emotionally captivating content right there. My family, right? No. Most content falls flat because it lacks emotional connection and authenticity. And that's what we solve as a company. At Aligned Media Productions, or AMP, we craft emotionally captivating content rooted in real stories. We start with the end result in mind, and then we reverse engineer the creative through our 4 key stages, which I'll get into. Oops, keep doing that wrong. So when I say full scale production company, we don't just film, we don't just edit, and we don't just plan your project. We do all of it. We even have a few different marketing or advertising agencies that you partner with to actually go through the rollout strategy for running ads or teaching you how to do some of that on your own as well. So with the pre-production, we really dive into your story with 4 different questions that I'll show you guys. You'll be able to use this and take a screenshot or take a picture. This is one of our secret recipes to telling a story. And that's how we build scripts. And we also use automation to help us get through that process and the brain the creative blocks that we experience. It's been extremely effective, and we're able to stay on top of trends that way as well. We focus on authentic on-location filming. We don't use studios. We like to film in areas that we're able to tell stories. For you, like as an agent, we've done projects with agents or builders before where we film on site at one of their projects. And it's more real that way. We love that. We travel all over the country working with different companies. I'll share some of those clients with you in a little bit. On the editing side of things, we focus on creative editing that really allows to tell the story. Music is the most important thing when it comes to storytelling, in my opinion. I think that if you can help somebody feel with music, that's huge. We actually have a few different options. We do have some royalty-free content we use, but we also have a in-house composer that actually makes music for our clients. We've yet to dive into AI music yet, which would be kind of fun. I hope that that'll be unique someday. But right now we have a real guy who's making music for our clients. And then, like I said, the strategic rollout aspect of it. Our campaigns deliver quality, quantity, and value. What that means is when we build a content campaign with clients, we don't just make one video. A lot of production companies in the world, they make 1 or 2 different videos and they charge a lot for that. We try to get you at least 8 to 16 videos that last you 90 to 180 days. And sometimes we're able to make even more videos to help test the market and really make sure your assets perform. Let's go into that. So,
Chandler, are you okay if I jump in for a sec?
Yeah.
So obviously, kind of give a price point typically of the clients that hire you, what you guys are charging.
Yeah.
Because I want to give some perspective on why I'm bringing him in. Is he understands the psychology of marketing, and when it comes to how many of you want to do better at social media this year? How many of you want to tell your story more and get more clients from it, right? So just for perspective, he's not coming in here and saying you should hire him to do your marketing. Okay, this is a whole different perspective. He's going to show you what he does at a big level for corporations, companies, and he's going to bring that same level of intelligence to this meeting on the 24th.
Exactly. Yeah, like that's exactly right. So we don't do a lot of work with real estate agents specifically, but we absolutely can help you in the storytelling aspect of it. And we'd love to work with you as well. There's a lot of different elements, but kind of what I'm looking for and our hope would be is to tell you this storytelling guide that's worked with large brands like you'll see right here. eBay Motors is one of our larger clients, Jiffy Lube, the American Cancer Society, University of Utah, some of these larger corporations that we've worked with over the years. And I'm looking for more of those, right? That's our whole goal. And one of the reasons I'd love to talk with real estate agents is you guys are the most connected human beings on the planet. Relationships are the world for you. And I would love to earn your trust somehow. And the way I can do that would be to help you with what I've learned with our clients over the years with these large brands. So that's what I'll be teaching in that time. Do we, can I show you guys a quick video? Is that all right? Yo, do we have a quick? Did someone have a comment? Sorry. Okay, if you can't really hear it. The shots
Over
are really
20
cool.
years experience, outstanding customer service, and over 500,000 items sold. We're your trusted source for quality products. Elevate your ride with our hassle-free wheel and tire packages, ready to bolt on and designed to make you stand out from the crowd. As the exclusive eBay Motors distributor of Mutter Trucker tires and wheels, we bring unique options that help you stand out. We
We
are a
can stop
team
right
of
there. It
seasoned
goes on a little bit longer, but you should see how excited this guy was to tell his story as a seller for eBay. And that's what I love so much about it. Like, if you go to our site and watch the whole video, you'll be able to see like how excited he is on camera to really sell and tell the story. But we'll move on to the next slide real quick. We specifically create projects, promo videos, commercials, and we format everything for social and for TV spots as well. Here, I'll go to the next one. We're working with the automotive industry, like I mentioned, some of those different clients that I'd love working with and I'd love connections to if possible. But the question is what you can do now. Take a picture of this if you can with your phones. This is one of the script writing guides that we use for telling stories, and it's been extremely successful. And what it really dives into is allowing you to connect with your audience in a way that solves a problem. A lot of people focus so much on like viral hooks or different hooks, and that's really important. But at the end of the day, you want as an agent for your customers to connect with who you are. And this is what I found the best way to do that following the script writing guide. And we'll dive deeper into that in this full-on training in 3 weeks from now. Take a picture of that if you will. You don't have to do this later, just take a picture but of that QR code, and you can go to our site, either text my phone number to that that's listed on the site, or go through our contact page so that we can go through, tell me a little bit about your story, and we'll see if we're a good fit for us to have you in that workshop as our going through that process would be really cool. So the biggest things you'll walk away with is learning the 4-question framework to uncover and tell emotionally compelling stories that connect, discover how to reverse engineer your message with the end result in mind so your content drives real action, and walk away with real world examples and a simple formula that you can start using today in your listings, branding, and social media. Like I said, one person will go through this full entire process. We'll be able to basically create exact scripts and video of what you can do for like a 12 video content campaign that you'd be able to create on your own. And then you guys will be able to duplicate that. So I did want to ask if there were one main question that someone could ask that you would love to know about brand content storytelling and video creation. Maybe that way I can have a good thing to build off of. Is there one person willing to ask a question? Over here.
Lucy.
See, it looks like, they're using their cell phone and they're getting it like that, and people really watch that versus something really professionally done. What are your thoughts on that?
I think especially for real estate agents, people love the iPhone stuff. It is extremely successful. For like these large brands like eBay and Target, University of Utah, they want the overproduced stuff. But a lot of times we actually create user-generated content on iPhones that performs really well as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff. I'll dive into that for sure. Thank you for asking. Cool. Thank you. Just wanted to introduce. Oh yeah, you have one more. Yep.
It's an RSVP for your birthday and your son's birthday. That's really nice.
You know what? I gave you, is my face red? This is the wrong QR code. If you could do me a favor, Shoni will actually send you that. Great. That's perfect. I'll be able to get RSVPs. Well, this was 2 years ago. It's probably a little moldy by now. That's embarrassing. Shoni, how about that?
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. Give him a hand.
You guys can have my phone number and text me that way. Sorry, dude.
Perfect. Thank you. Jen already registered for the birthday party? Perfect. Wonderful. Great. Thanks, Chandler. Ultimately, we want you to be on the forefront of how do you market and attract more clients. I do believe that part of our process obviously is servicing clients, But what we usually run into roadblocks is getting enough clients in the pipeline, right at the top of funnel. And so we're going to have Chandler in to go through this psychology and help you understand how you can market more effectively in your business. So for the next 15, 20 minutes, we're going to go through a process. You all have a piece of paper right in front of you. We're going to go just 3 minutes. You're going to have 3 minutes to answer as many questions as you can on that sheet. You don't have to get to everything, but as many questions as you can. And ideally, at least the first question for each category. That will make it far more helpful as we go into this second process. If you don't have a sheet in the back, feel free to come grab one. There's a whole table up here that that has a bunch of extra papers. We'll throw on some music and go ahead and fill that out for 3 minutes. All right. Okay, bring it in. We're going to cruise through this fast because this next part is going to be the valuable part. Okay. So I need everybody to stand up. And you're going to break into groups of about 10. So there's going to be 4 different either easels of paper, or you've got whiteboards as well. So break into groups basically by table. So like that group and +2 might be a group. And then you guys might break into another group. So 8 to 10 people at each corner. Okay, go ahead and break. Once you get to that location is when I'll give you the instructions, what we're going to do. Yep, bring your papers with you. Bring your papers with you. Okay, listen up. This is what we've got, okay? We're short on time, so I'm going to give you the instructions. So on the board here, you'll see the details of what you're going to do. Each group is going to, don't worry about the first category, the production level, we're skipping that. So you're going to just go around and share your 1 to 2 top strategies that you're using. Right? So what are the best practices on any of those categories? You can jump through the ones that fit you best that you're doing in your business that you feel like gives you the extra edge. Okay. What are those things that you're doing? We're going to have a scribe, point at the scribe in 3, 2, 1. Point at the person that's going to write for your team. All right. Okay. So go ahead and just write all of the ideas that come out from the group on the board. Okay. Write down all the ideas that come out from the group. All right. Everybody, look up front for a second. So what you're going to do is, you guys ready to roll? We're going to wrap up. So what we're going to do is really quick, point at the person in your group. Really quick, point at the person in your group who's going to be the spokesperson. 1, 2, 3. You got nominated. Okay. Got nominated. You guys have your person? Jakaya, awesome. Who is it for this group? Josh? Okay. All right. So everybody except the spokesperson can take a seat. And we'll start with Sarah. So just what each spokesperson is going to do is share some of the top strategies that came out from their group conversation. Now, here's one of the things that I failed to highlight up front going into this is you don't want to call your strategies or your best practices the things that everybody else does as well. For example, no offense to any lenders in the room, but how many of you have had lenders send you rates before? Or how many of you have had a lender reach out to you and say, I'd love to work with you. I'm so, and maybe they share their value proposition and it's, I'm great with communication with your clients and I close the deal on time. Well, shouldn't every lender do those two things? So it's not actually something they should be marketing, right? So I want you to think the same way in the real estate space is you cannot or should not be marketing the things that should automatically be included in your process. So we're going to just go through one group at a time, just share the top 3 strategies or takeaways from your group conversation.
Okay, so our first attempt was a lot about just being authentic. And then we dove a little deeper. And one of the things that we talked about in our group, I know I've done this just this past week with my clients, is I kept the stress away from them. There was a really hard thing that happened. The deal fell through and I was right in the middle of it. I did not want them to feel that pressure that I was feeling for them, especially. Number 2 is we coach and protect that it's not done until the money is in the bank. And yeah, so kind of giving them, when you go to the closing table, just letting, one of our members in our group said that. And I thought that was really good advice. Number 3 is negotiate with confidence and not fear. And someone in our group talked about when she went to a listing presentation and, the seller was like, well, these realtors are doing it for this amount, 1%. And, she kind of stayed with her confidence and said, well, this is why I'm doing this. And she ended up getting the deal. So just staying confident and believing in yourself.
Awesome. Love it. Dean, we'll go to your group. And the biggest thing I hear from that section too is like your negotiation skill set, right? Where does the confidence come from? Tons of practice, right? So practicing that part.
Wait, we have to practice? Ugh. So as we talked about, a lot of things we were discussing initially were things that we should be doing. For instance, thou shalt not have commission breath. If we're desperate, it shows. And so we talked a lot about that. But one of the agents shared a really fun one, and that is, hey, a quick text, taking a swig order, what do we need? So when we're going to look homes, it's always better with a drink. Kind of that. I recommended that one of our other agents should probably take alcohol with her. And sorry, yes. I wasn't looking at you, Jen. All right. But there are some fun. So I think the real key though is truly have fun with it. And I believe in my heart of hearts, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Anyway.
Awesome. Shakaya?
Okay, so I don't know if this is going against what Shoni was saying just now, but we should all be doing this. But I feel like in our group, we talked a lot about maintaining and building our relationships. There's a Chinese proverb that says, he who waits for roast duck to fall out of sky into mouth will be waiting long time. So I think if we're not time blocking, actually calling our sphere, I think a few people talked about that in our group. Like, it's got to be in your calendar. If it's not in the calendar, it's not gonna happen. There's too many distractions in life to where our day will fill up with things that aren't high producing tasks. And so if we're not calling our sphere, texting our sphere, doing pop-bys, maintaining those relationships, going to lunch, we're not only not providing service to the people we probably care about the most, but we're leaving deals on the table too that we could have probably got. So, and then Kevin had a great one that I think won the day. You just have to be Prince Charming or Princess Charming, I guess. So yeah, make those calls.
Gosh.
All right. Make sure this works. We had some really good comments, really good thoughts over here. So I'm going to share some stories as I talk about each one, the 3 top ones. Social media. So Spencer over here, he started doing social media. Who here has a fear of social media? I do, right? I have a huge fear of social media. It's about being vulnerable. I see you posting all the time, right? So great job. I see quite a few people in here that post on social media frequently. But Spencer, he had a fear going into it of posting on social media, but I started seeing his stuff just in the last couple of weeks. And he said, I went in to talk to him this morning before the meeting, and he said, Josh, I asked him, I said, where are you getting your people from? Like, what your current clients you're working with, where are they coming from? And he told me, he goes, well, one of the people that I'm working with came from social media. And he said, I hate saying that because I don't like doing social media. But he got a client from social media, which is going to pay him how much? Roughly 10, 15, maybe $20,000. So was that worth it for the last couple of weeks to do social media? Right? So it's just being about vulnerable. And if you guys have been to any of Shoni's meetings that he's done over the last couple of weeks, he had the MMA fighter. She talked about educating, inspiring, the four top triggers to do on social media. If you were able to go to Colton Lindsay's discussion, he talked about social media as well. So a lot of these things are, Shoni's providing to us. It's just a matter of actually doing it and taking action. CMA a day. So this was from Tom Ferry. Tom Ferry talks about CMA a day, but specifically not just doing a CMA a day, but reaching out to your past clients who here has 2, 3, 4 years in the business, right? go to those clients right now, today, just shoot out a text and ask them, hey, I'm doing a market analysis for homes in your area. Would you be interested in knowing what your home is worth? And then asking them as well, hey, I've got a new tool called HomeBeat. Who here has heard of HomeBeat? I want to see. If you have not heard of HomeBeat, write it down right now. Ask Shoni about it. It is the coolest tool. It's $100 a year. And HomeBeat will send your clients an automatic CMA every quarter when a home sells or when a home goes active in their neighborhood. You guys don't even have to do anything. You just have to literally set it up after closing, and they will get a quarterly email from you. Like you can't go wrong with that. So CMA a day, this is what I'm doing from Tom Ferry, and I'm actually reaching out to these past clients specifically and my SOI, and I'm asking them, hey, what can I, do you want to know your home value? And so I'm making a CMA a day. If you do that 364 days a year, that's 364 CMAs, right? And I've got, let's see, 4 deals of my business I can attribute to from last year came from CMA a day. Being involved in Show Up in the community. What was your name? Erica. Erica was doing really good at this, and she just shows up to people's birthday parties. So she takes a client out to lunch. Oh, it's not Erica. I'm sorry. It's a combination. All right. So they are doing a lunch per week. So that's 32 weeks in a year. So that's 32 lunches. And when they talk to their clients, they're doing the Ford script, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. And they're just learning about their families, right? And then if the person mentions, hey, my kid has a soccer game that's going on this Saturday, then she goes to the soccer game. And she's got kids under the age of 10, right? I was thinking, I have no time to go to soccer games. I've got my own soccer games. I got my own birthday parties. I got my own graduations for like first grade. And she goes to them. So that's commitment. That's what we should be doing. That's taking a level up from being a realtor to being an advisor, a consultant, and a friend. So
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Josh, great analysis. And Josh, you're probably on track for 35, 40 units this year. Hopefully in the future, it will be with KW, right? That was not a paid advertisement for those who don't know Josh. He's at a different brokerage, but he loves being with KW agents. So awesome. Well, I hope that what you took from this is 2 things. One, I wanted to strategically not tell you the additional insight up front of think about the things that set you apart, what your X factor is, because what you put on here is probably what you're normally communicating to your clients as value adds. And I'm not saying it's not valuable. All I want you to do is inspect it and ask yourself, is it truly the highest and best of what I can market myself as to a client? Is that actually what's going to close and get more transactions? Or might I need to upgrade what I'm marketing, okay, what my focus is? And that's the deep dive we'll go into on the 24th. So thanks to Right Homes for lunch. Enjoy, it looks like Chick-fil-A in the back. Actually, we've got Amber, we've got one thing.
Really
as
quick
well.
announcement. Susie wasn't here. She wanted me to make sure you knew. So for Keller Splash, those of you who are participating, we're gonna do it a little bit different. We wanted to be a little more consistent, and our vendors are taking care of the snacks. So don't bring snacks for your clients. There will be, let me see if I can read, holy moly, popsicles and all kinds of stuff. So they're going to take care of that. You can still set up a tent and like greet your clients and whatever, but like we want it to be consistent. So it's not like one person has these, In-N-Out hamburgers and somebody else has nothing, so that's the plan. Okay.
That's a huge, awesome upgrade this year, right? So your popsicles, the drinks is all included from our vendor program. So that's awesome. So enjoy the week, and we'll see you guys at class on Friday.